Hey guys. For this video, I hadn't seen anyone actually do any sort of comparison on these two, and maybe it's because nobody cares, but I wanted to do a little side-by-side on the Fox Dropframe versus the Speedframe Pro. And you're probably wondering, well, shit, I wanted the Dropframe Pro. Well, too bad, this is the one I have. The only thing really that I've noticed that it doesn't have is MIPS. So maybe if you want to protect your dome a little better, go with the Pro after you watch this video if you decide you want it. But I just wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on like why this helmet's sick and why this helmet's sick, what they're good for, price points, battle them head to head, let you guys know what I think. So I wanted to start with the Dropframe first. I got this one before the Speedframe, so I've kind of been using it for, you know, I think like 6 months or so, maybe a little bit more now. I went to this helmet from a Troy Lee A1, and so it was kind of a pretty large change. Like I've never had a true 3/4 helmet until this thing. I mean, I have like a D3 that I chopped the front off of, but I've never had one that was actually, you know, structurally sound. I didn't really know what to expect with this thing because I was gonna be using it for everything from like trails to dirt jump riding to just like general cruising around. And first impressions of this thing were off the freaking charts. I never would have guessed that this thing is not as hot as it looks, especially being black. I like black, as you can tell, like you should see my closet. But the way they put vents in this helmet is kind of next to none. The main thing that I've noticed is Fox, with all their new helmets, they're doing this ventilation system in the front on your forehead here. I don't know about you guys, but that is like the hottest zone of my head. Like my forehead is just like the devil's butthole up here. And so, yeah, I noticed like right away, like riding this, I was like, first trail ride, I was like, God, this is gonna kind of suck. Like I wish I had like a half shell, but I really came to realize that this thing doesn't get hot. Like, yeah, it's a little bit warmer around your face for sure. Like there's obviously cheek pads, but look how huge these holes are. Like there's so much breathing room. Massive vents on the back too. Really no complaints as far as heat goes. I think it like vents super well. I think the style of this too is the best of any 3/4 open shell kind of helmet. The gyro one, gyro, whatever it is, something's not quite right about it. I like how sleek this one is. It looks very modern. It's like a tiny bit boxy, but with like cool lines on it. You know, some swoops, you know, for mad downforce and aerodynamics. I think if I had bigger cheeks is the only thing that's kind of deterring this from looking boxy. The top looks pretty good on my head, but like the cheeks do kind of pop out a little bit, obviously, because most helmets will go in here. This going straight down makes your head pretty large. So that's the only thing. So these aren't that expensive. The crazy thing is that they're pretty close to the Speedframe in price. This, just the standard Dropframe, is only 170 bucks retail. They're on sale for like 120 bucks on Fox's site right now. This might not age well, it might be different when you see this, but I just saw one on Google for like $100 brand new. $100. I would buy this 100 fucking times for $100. Are you kidding me? The MIPS one is like 200 bucks. So from retail price point, it's 30 bucks more for MIPS. Get what you pay for. I mean, if you want to have your dome be a little bit safer, I think it's probably a good call to get the MIPS. I didn't get it right off the bat. Maybe I will in the future. But this thing feels pretty sturdy and safe as is. Like the Pro and like the Speedframe Pro, it has this magnetic buckle, which is like the sickest part of this helmet, I swear. It's so rad. Like being able to do one hand and just like so fast snap it up. Like, you know, you've been on a trail and been like, oh my God, like I hate like dealing with gloves and trying to like unsnap it when you're like sweaty and tired and you're just like, oh, I want my helmet off right now. You literally just put them sort of near each other and it just goes in. So the only beef I have with this specific helmet is the padding setup. It's really confusing because if you have it set up for your head when you're just like chilling, you know, resting heart rate, not a lot of blood pumping through your head, it fits pretty snug and perfect. For the most part on like normal trails, dirt jumping, it feels pretty good as far as things go. What I noticed though is like I rode this at a pump track where I'm like really trying hard to go fast and like really using all my energy in like a short amount of time. Maybe a lot of blood pumps through my forehead. I don't know what it is, but I got like mad head rush a couple times because there was like some constriction on my forehead, and honestly, it's probably just me being stupid and not putting in the right pads from the get-go. but at the same time, it did feel really comfortable at normal resting rate. Just keep that in mind. If you do get one of these, maybe set it up a tiny bit loose, not like you can shake it around your head, but definitely not quite snug on your forehead. It comes with a bunch of different pads, so you have a ton of options there. So not that this affects me specifically, because I don't tend to put a lot of stuff on my helmet. I don't really mount GoPros, I don't put stickers, but the drop frame has some pretty harsh angles on the top of the helmet. So you can see there's one really solid one right down the center of the helmet. So if you were planning on mounting a GoPro to this, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna have to be a little bit off center. Drop frame. God, I need some water. Okay, so this is the SpeedFrame Pro. First impressions on this are kind of off the charts, guys. This is my favorite trail helmet that I've ever seen personally. No, this is not an ad. No, they're not paying me. But also this is the internet and I could be lying, but I'm not lying, so trust me. Similar to the drop frame, it's got the vents on the forehead that are huge, super nice. I love that part of this. I don't know what it is about my head that gets so hot on my forehead. Maybe it's my like Bieber hair, but having this is super nice. Like so much airflow coming through here. So that's definitely one of the biggest plus sides of this. So in comparison to the regular SpeedFrame, I don't know if I just haven't done the research or if this is really all it is, but I think it's this magnetic buckle. Like that's like the thing that's really separating the two. Like yeah, the colorways are different. This is like a mix of gloss and matte and then, you know, different graphic setup. It's not like the standard SpeedFrame colors aren't sick. Like there's like a matte black one that looks really good. So the SpeedFrame Pro clocks in at 160 for the helmet. The regular SpeedFrame, 110. Is it worth $50 for a magnetic buckle and some colorway differences? You be the judge. If you're just looking for like the sickest trail helmet that's not gonna blow up your bank account, I'd go with just the regular SpeedFrame. It has MIPS, it looks just as good. Yeah, the buckle's not as sick, but who cares? Tons of vents on this thing, you know, everywhere. Everywhere, there are so many vents. It feels awesome. It doesn't get hot even the slightest. I've had so much pleasure riding this thing and testing it out on the trails. I've done really big climbs with it and it's been fine, like absolutely zero issues there. Their strap setup is pretty cool, how they have this piece that kind of guides the straps around your ear into an actual concise point versus the like, you know, triangle shape that so many helmets have that just is so annoying. You can't quite get it right on both sides. It's always like bothering one ear. This is sick because it brings it out wider and then in, so it's more of like a box around your ear. The only real beef I have with this helmet, there's two things. The first is non-adjustable visor. Yes, it is designed super well. I think that it's perfect. Like it's pretty long too, so you can use it to deflect sun. It doesn't really get in the way of your vision. It is designed properly. I will give them that. I think it is perfect for the helmet, and personally, I don't think I would need to move it. So this isn't really about me. This is just like looking out for everybody else. A lot of people like to be able to adjust their visor. I think just having that little bit of extra customization, some people kind of like. Is it gonna deter you from buying this helmet? I hope not, because that'd be super lame of you. But at the same time, I do think it looks super clean, not having any bolts here. Like, you know, with like the Troy Lee ones, there's obvious anodized bolts, which like some people like the look of, but I just like how sleek and clean this looks. So the other thing is the back here. A lot of people say that this looks super alien-esque. I can see where they're coming from. It's definitely a weird design and it kind of looks a little bit strange on the back of the head, but does it bother me? No. Should it deter you from buying the helmet? No. Everything is designed for a reason. It's not like they saw this and they're like, yep, that's it, that looks so rad. It's the same as like a Prius. It's like they look like shit for a reason, I think. I'm not sure. There are design purposes that go into this, like the structure of the vents is a specific way. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know what that way is, but it feels good on my dome. So sizing on this, they run big. The first one I got was a large. I'm typically a medium large. I'm leaning towards large in like full faces and stuff. This thing is way big in the large. It does give you a centimeter sizing on the website. I don't know how big my head is in centimeters. I live in America and I'm not gonna take the time to measure my head. I don't have like a weird measurement system. Try it on, or if you wanna just play it safe, if you're on like a medium large or small medium kind of size point, go with the smaller one. I do think they run a little bit big. I have the medium now with the stock pads that came in it. There's like 2 pads, you know, because it's MIPS, super thin pads. I think I'm like midway through the adjustability on this thing. Not too big, not too small. The other thing is like if you get the bigger helmet, it's gonna kind of look a little bit mushroomy on your head. I think that if you have the size right, it's pretty flush actually for a trail helmet. It's not super boxy. So I wanted to kind of compare the two and be like, which one should you buy? If you can only buy one, what is the best use for each of them? And kind of what I recommend. If you're only buying, if you're only buying one helmet and you do a super diverse amount of riding, say you ride dirt jumps, you ride trails, maybe even skate park, downhill, you could maybe ride this at the bike park. I think I might be a little bit sketched out just with the open face, but you could totally. If that's you and you can only buy one helmet, get this one. It really does work on trails, guys. Like I know it seems weird to have a 3/4 on trails when you're so accustomed to the half shell breathability. I've ridden this in like hot summer days, 3,000 vert climbs, 30-mile rides, like everything. And guys, it is sick. Like just take it off for a couple seconds if you get too hot. That's really all it is. It's not unrideable by any means. And it's actually not obnoxious. Like I forget that I'm wearing a 3/4 helmet, which is just about the best thing that you could hope to hear about your 3/4 helmet. If you can buy two helmets, get this and ride it on dirt jumps. I think that's like my favorite use for it. Offers you a little bit of extra protection. You know, it's not like a standard full face, it's not a half shell. I feel really comfortable in this though, and it's breathable enough to be at the bike park all day and not really care. Now, this guy, if you're gonna buy a trail helmet, get this or get the regular Speedframe. I cannot stress that enough. This thing is so sick. Obviously, best use for this is gonna be trail riding. I've taken it dirt jumping a little bit. I don't feel like super safe riding dirt jumps in a trail helmet. I know this thing has MIPS, but one of the things that I really care about is like this zone in my head. Like I've hit this side so much and like I've gotten cuts on my face. It's just nice having that extra protection. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the gist of these guys. A little head-to-head battle. They have their own purposes. This is good for certain things. This is good for certain things. Buy this if you can only buy one and you ride a lot of different stuff. If you only ride trails, get a Speedframe. There's kind of no need for the extra protection. Unless what you're riding is really sketchy and you want it to be more of an enduro lid, go with the Dropframe. Like, subscribe, do the thing. I don't even know where these buttons are yet. Let me know if there's any other videos you want me to do. I will find the means to make them happen. Thanks for tuning in.